Hi, welcome to About Town. I'm Carol Brewster, your host. Today we're going to be talking about an upcoming blood drive that will be held outside the Hanson police station. It's on October 21st from, I think, 8 to 2. And we have wonderful guests here, a volunteer coordinator, Don Saracello, and a lady from the Kraft Blood Donor Center, Maureen Sisovich. Okay, welcome aboard. Nice to see you. Nice to see you, Maureen.
Nice to see you too, Carol.
I think I'd like to start with you, Dawn. When did you start getting interested in helping with these blood drives?
Probably about 5 years ago. I was motivated by a number of things. First and foremost, my wife's affliction with breast cancer. And it seems to me it's very rewarding, not to mention you meet some very nice people, not only at the Kraft Blood Donor Center, but the Bloodmobile at each drive.
Yes, yeah. So how many blood drives do you generally organize in a year?
Well, so far I probably have about 15 or 16, but we're going to try and, Maureen and I, we're going to try and get at least 4 per year from the Hanson Police Department, and we're venturing out to different fire departments, police in town venues, type things. So.
I understand that there's an incentive for people that put on at least 4 blood drives a year.
Yes. If you sponsor a blood drive, you will be invited to Gillette Stadium as a guest of Bob Kraft, and I think we all know who he is. He's basically donated everything at the Kraft Blood Donor Center. Gillette Stadium has a wonderful luncheon there once a year. And you get to meet some football players there, and it's just a nice take. You get to meet people that have been cured by platelet donations and blood donations. It's a wonderful family, and I can't thank them enough. Again, I'm motivated. They saved my wife. My wife is 18 years with breast cancer, so.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And is she cured or at least in remission?
No, she, it's a monthly thing, you know, she gets her treatments about once a month, and but the thing that's so satisfying is about every 6 months I'll ask her oncologist, is there anything on the horizon that has you excited? And it's to the point where he says, we have so much on the shelf now that not only would help your wife.
Yes.
That, to me, along with blood donations, platelet donations, it's incredible, not to mention the Jimmy Fund. It's a wonderful place, a wonderful place.
She's feeling well now.
She's doing good.
Great,
Doing good.
great. And there's an incentive. You also donate blood, don't you?
I donate platelets, yes.
Oh, and how often do you do that?
I try and do it about once every 2 weeks, up to 24 donations in a fiscal year. And I don't even look at it as a donation. I go in, and it's almost a social event. It's just a great place.
So Maureen, platelets are a little bit different than blood donation.
Yes.
And that needs to be done at the actual center.
People have to come in, they make an appointment, takes an hour and a half to 2 hours. It's done by machine. Unlike when we come out to the Bloodmobile, people can go on the Bloodmobile and donate a pint of blood in, 40 minutes. The center, that's where we collect our platelets. You have to make the appointment. You sit in a big comfortable chair. They hook you up with an enclosed platelet system, and it runs you. It's the same process. The blood comes out of your arm, goes almost through like a centrifuge, and the platelets are put up in a bag with a little bit of plasma in them to keep them floating. And your blood is separated. Your red cells are in one bag, and your platelets and a little bit of plasma are in the other. You actually get your red cells back, and that's why you're able to do platelet donations so much more often than whole blood. Whole blood you only can do every 8 weeks. Platelets you could actually, like he said, do it 24 times a year. A lot of people come in every 2 weeks, but it's a time thing. You know, it does take a couple hours. You do sit and watch a movie and relax, and like he says, socialize. They're great people in there. But yeah, it's a little bit different. Platelets only last 5 days outside of the body. So in order for, and it takes up a couple days for testing, so it's a quick turnover. Your body constantly reproduces platelets, so it is something that you can give much more often than red cells with the whole blood.
Do you get some of the plasma back too?
Yep, you get some of the plasma. We just take a little bit of the plasma just to float the platelets up. You get the rest back.
So my guess is you wouldn't be as tired. Or
definitely.
Yeah.
No, you
wouldn't.
feel pretty good when you leave and give them platelets. And you don't really get tired when you're giving whole blood, but it takes longer for your red cells to replenish themselves. That's why you're only able to, whole blood you only can give every 8 weeks. And it's because you're not getting the red cells back. We're taking the red cells. But with platelets, you get the red cells back right away.
Yeah. And how long does the whole blood last?
42 days is the shelf life of blood. It's very rarely ever on the shelf very long. We constantly, being 2 hospitals, there's constant need for blood.
How much would you say that you separate out? Do you keep the whole blood, or do you?
Yeah, mostly they keep the whole blood, but if they have to, they would take the whole blood. It would take like 6 people's whole blood, different people's whole blood. They would spin it down. It would make 1 platelet donation, but they like the platelets coming for individuals. But if they have to, or pack red cells, the same thing. They would separate it when they need, or if we're giving it to babies, it's a little different. They separate it a little differently. But for the most part, whole blood's on that shelf and off the shelf very quickly.
And what kind of patients benefit from these blood donations?
The patients going through any kind of cancer, accident victims, any heart transplants, any kind of major operation benefits from the whole blood. Platelets, platelets are the clotting factor of the blood, so it helps the blood clot a little better. People going through cancer, any kind of treatment for cancer need that.
What can people expect when they want to donate? What people can donate? Are there certain people that take medications that aren't able to?
If you are a healthy person over the age of 17, weigh 110 pounds, everybody has 10 to 13 pints of blood in their body, and if you're healthy, you can give a pint. As you get older and you get on different medications, always check. A lot of medications are fine, but whenever in doubt, always call our donor center and say that you have an eligibility question, and they'd be more than glad to tell you whether or not you could donate, or if there's a restriction on that. We do have some restrictions, but a normal healthy person can really give a pint of blood and have no side effects with it.
So once somebody has an appointment, what can they expect when they get there?
So for the whole blood, they'll come like we're having that drive here on Sunday, the October 21st at the Hanson Police, and you can sign up online. Once they sign up online, they show up the day of their appointment, and they're brought in, and we have them fill out. First, they read through some information to make sure they're eligible to donate. Once they read that, then they'll fill out the form. They go on Bloodmobile, and once on the Bloodmobile, the nurse or the tech will go over the question that they've answered, and once they've gone over that, they move on to a mini physical, which time they take a small drop of blood out of their finger to test their iron, to make sure they have enough iron to be able to give a pint of blood. If you're anemic or not feeling good, this is not the time to be donating blood. Once you pass, most people pass, their iron. They have plenty of iron in their system. If you eat healthy and are a healthy person, you're good. They take your blood pressure, your pulse, your temperature. And once you pass that, you move on to the reclining chairs, very comfortable chairs in our Bloodmobile. And you give a pint of blood. That takes about 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes sometimes. And once they finish that, they have you sit and relax there for about 10 minutes. Make sure you're feeling all right, which time they give you juice, cookies, relax, a snack. And then upon leaving the bus, everybody gets a gift.
Oh.
Whether it be a T-shirt, or this month we're giving out these great little lanterns, especially with the winter coming up, and we're losing our power all the time.
Nice.
They're a great little lantern.
Right. Yeah.
So everybody will get a gift upon leaving the drive.
Yeah. And I understand, Dawn, that there's an incentive for the blood donors as well. Like you give platelets mostly, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
One of the things, when I was reading up about whole blood, I never realized this, but a portion of the whole blood that's taken is used for research, and which is very good, because some of the research they're doing is not just cancer, but they're doing it helps pregnant women. They do some sort of research where it will help the pregnancy, go full term, or if I would imagine if a woman had problems. And the other thing that I found very interesting is the amount that is needed during the summer when everybody is on vacation. The amount of red blood, it becomes critical because everybody seems to be on vacation. So we get alerts, via email and things like that. So it's just a pleasure doing that type of work for the benefit of the people.
And if people donate enough, they also go to this at the
Kraft Family Blood Donor Center, and
Yeah.
they put on a recognition.
Right.
The Kraft Family Blood, has been very generous.
Yes, they have, yeah.
They were very instrumental in getting this going too, weren't they?
Right. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
their foundation.
Yeah. They do a lot of good things.
And I forget what exactly the number is for platelets. Is it 20 donations a year and you get invited?
10.
10. Okay.
Yeah,
10.
because my
I know they do that.
my son-in-law, I got him into it.
Yeah.
And he needs to donate those 10.
Well, he's a Patriots fan, and he just had a ball, and my grandson and stuff. So it's a very, very nice thing to do.
It is. It's a brunch on a Sunday morning. It's fun.
But the rewards far surpass just that brunch.
Right.
I feel fulfilled that I'm helping somebody,
That's right. There's a lot of good stories.
I like to
that
give
are
back.
told.
Oh.
So how many blood drives generally do you guys organize?
I would imagine you probably have.
Oh, as the recruiter, I put on probably 20 to 23 blood drives a month. We have that Bloodmobile out, sometimes 7 days a week. Weekend runs, 7 days a week with the Kraft Blood Donor Center, their Bloodmobile. But most of the time it's, 20, 21 times. We need to keep, the supply at hand so that we have plenty of blood on the shelves. And some drives do better than others, and we're trying to build them up so that they do better. This particular drive does great, and Hanson has been a great town for blood donors. So we're trying to get here, maybe 6 times a year.
Oh, wow.
Like Dawn said, 4 times. Hopefully with the Hanson police have been very generous in letting us come.
I'm glad that you reminded me. I want to take this opportunity yet again to thank Chief Mike Mish. He's helped us immensely. He's a wonderful man.
That's great. That's great. I wonder if there's anything else that you would like to speak about as far as people giving. I know people sometimes get a little scared. They think it's going to hurt, or they think they don't understand how sterile the whole process is.
Yep, it's yeah. People do get scared. You know, a lot of people will say, "Oh, I'm scared of needles." It's a little pinch. The staff on the Bloodmobile, this is all they do. So they're crackerjacks at it. I mean, we have really great staff, and this is what they do for a living: is stick needles. As far as every single bag that is used, every needle that is opened is only used on you. That everything's enclosed. Same with platelets. Like I was saying, it's an enclosed system. We take the kit out, put it in the machine. It's yours. It's enclosed with your blood on it. Everything is sterilized. In this day and age, you could never not even think of that. It's universal precautions right down the line as far as the sterilization of the needles, equipment. Everything is disposable. After it's used on you, it's disposed of.
Yeah. I had an opportunity a couple of years ago to go and tape some of the footage, some of the things that were happening at the Bloodmobile while it was outside of the Hanson police station. And we'll probably look at that now, and then we'll be right back.
Hi, we're on board the Bloodmobile here, and I'd like to introduce you to Jen, who's one of our donors, and take this opportunity to thank you so very much for sharing part of you with us. So,
You're very welcome.
have you donated before?
I have, yeah.
Yeah. So we have a regular here, so.
Hi, I'm Jeff Levine. I'm the driver of the Dana-Farber Brigham Women's Mobile Bloodmobile. I've been working for the hospital for close to a year now, and we keep the bus in Alston. The hospital, of course, is located in Boston on Francis Street. What this is a 42-foot long bus. It's 12 feet 11 inches high, and it's 8.5 feet wide. It's actually a Thomas bus that has been designed by the Matthews Company. It has a Cummins engine with a chassis, 2 generators, one on either side, and it has 4 air conditioning units, as you can see further down the bus. In the back of the bus, it has 3 interview rooms, and as you can see, it has 4 stretchers, 2 on either side, for patients to donate blood at one given time. The average drive has anywhere from 20 to 30 donors on it. Is considered a full drive. We come up, it's probably about an hour drive from Boston, and we usually have drives between the hours of 9 and 3. Can you think of any other questions that you might want to ask?
What's involved when you first get here to get the bus?
Sure. Yeah. What we do is we do a site check ahead of time, sometime during the week before we get to a drive. We try to make sure that the parking lot that we are in is level, so we can put the stanchions and the stabilizers out to stabilize the bus while the technicians are doing their sticks for their donations. And then what we usually will do is put the scales in order, because it's a machine that automatically will tell the technician when the bag is full. So we have to make sure those are up and running, and the different computers that we use for our system have to be up and running. We usually use 4 computers, 1 for each interview room. We will check in our patient live is what we prefer. We can do downtime, just paperwork, but what we try to do is check in the patient so it's real-time application, basically, so we can take our units of blood back to the hospital and use them right away if we have to. So then what we'll do is we'll, of course the lights will be on, we set up our equipment, and we'll set up the packs to be used so when the donor comes aboard, we can use those right away, ready to use. As you can see, these are the packs over here. And we basically set up the bus just before we end up doing our drives. Yeah, no problem. We appreciate it. And of course, we thank everybody for coming aboard, wherever we are in Massachusetts. I mean, it's a life-saving event, and it's taking, the time out of each one of the donors that we absolutely appreciate, in regards to, the Brigham Women's and the Dana-Farber. We really, really appreciate it. We thank everybody.
One of the things that I read about was that you definitely have to bring a photo ID.
Yes.
So how do people prepare when they're going to come?
They should have to eat well. You should eat before you're coming. You should have something to eat in your stomach. You never want to donate on empty belly. And you should definitely be well hydrated, before and after.
Yeah.
That is something that we would tell people after the donation, to make sure that they drink lots of fluid and try to,
With platelets, I know they recommend drink a lot of water the night before. Getting back to being afraid of needles. I was, first and foremost, I was petrified of needles. But I could tell you firsthand, these people are professional. I sometimes don't even realize that they put it in.
very good.
Unbelievable. They are just,
Yeah.
I noticed that, when I was there.
they're very good at what they do.
Yeah. And Dana-Farber, this is a collaboration between Dana-Farber and Brigham and Women's.
Yes.
So
Yes.
are you able to get enough donation to cover all your patients?
No, you never have enough blood. We never have enough blood. And when we don't have enough blood, they need to buy it off somebody.
Right.
So yeah, it's a constant battle to keep blood in the shelves.
Right.
And that's why we're out here, both, inside collecting platelets. They never have enough platelets either. And like I said, the shelf life of a platelet is only 5 days. That doesn't give you very much time.
Wow.
They're never on the shelf that long. We always have a need for it. And with the 2 hospitals, we use a lot of blood.
Yeah. And certainly if you're the one that's there and needs it, it
Right.
becomes a life-saving event for you.
Like, and he said, there's certain times a year that we have a need more. I mean, the winters, some of these storms that wiped us out last year. I mean, things happen during these storms still, and people need surgeries, and they still need blood. We still have to keep the blood on the shelves, and that's when we go on, not maybe a critical need, but an urgent need, reaching out to the public saying we need blood. And I mean, most hospitals do the same thing. They need it. And the summers are hard. There are certain times a year that are more difficult than others.
Yeah.
That you feel like, we always used to say, don't make a donation before your vacation.
Oh, yeah.
So that people don't forget us before
Yeah.
you go on vacation. Like, make an appointment. We still need the blood, even though we want you to have a good time. But the need for blood doesn't take a vacation ever. And we always try to get that message out to people.
That's one of the things that I've noticed with the Kraft Blood Donor Center and Dana-Farber, Brigham and Women's. When it gets critical, they will send emails to every donor, and which is great.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I remember years ago, I worked for the Red Cross, and they would call in the middle of the night looking for blood, and we would have a set amount there, and would have to decide how many the different hospitals, you know, how much
When
we
did you
could.
work there? I worked there for
Oh,
10 years.
did you?
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
there.
it was
You
back-
did look familiar to me. Maybe it
Back
was
in the early 80s.
Okay, so I was the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
But I worked
Yeah.
there for 10 years.
Yeah, it was a great place.
That's who taught me. That's
really?
who trained me as a recruiter.
Yeah.
I started there as a tech, sticking
Yeah.
needles, and they trained me, and then I went to work for Children's
Yeah.
for 10 years, and
Oh, that's a nice place
now
too.
I've
Yes.
come over here to help the Craft Blood Donor Center get their program up
Well,
and
you-
going better.
You've got a good background.
Yeah, I do. And it all came from the Red Cross. I really owe them a thanks for that.
Yeah.
They train their people well.
So this blood drive that's coming up, it's on October 21st.
Correct.
And is that a Saturday or a Sunday?
It's a Sunday.
Is it?
Sunday.
Sunday from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Ah,
Everybody seems to like to come early, so
Yeah.
book early.
And they do. They book up really quick. I was
Do
just
they?
looking at the appointments. We have a good amount already.
Yeah.
wow.
We have, and they're just wonderful people. We have regulars that I know from 8 to maybe 10 o'clock. It's the same people that you see every
they do.
week, and it's
Blood
great.
donors are very dedicated people.
Yeah.
I noticed that. It seems that it's the same people over and over. Once they start, it gives them a good feeling and they want to continue.
Right.
And once they start and they realize how easy it is for them and how it makes them feel, they want to come back over and over again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a gift. It really
Yes,
is. A
it
gift
is
when you-
for the
you know,
people that need
touching somebody that needs
Yeah.
blood. It's a gift, and it's something you can give of yourself.
Well, it was very nice to speak with you today, and I hope the donations go very well, and I'm sure they will. They have in the past. And this is Carol Brewster. Remember, the blood drive is on October 21st, and it's a Sunday, and it's from
8 to 2.
8 to 2. And hope to see you there. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.